For today's video, I just want to take the opportunity to answer some of your questions. The other day, I just posted in my free Facebook group, the Personal Mastery Quest community group. I just asked, what are you struggling with in regards to meditation? What are you struggling with in regards to self-inquiry and just the spiritual process in general, right? And I got a few questions, so I just want to take some time today to answer each and every single one of them. And I'm sure that just by watching this video till the end, so many of your own confusions are gonna just, you're gonna gain clarity on them. So definitely watch this video in full, because some of these questions I can 100% see are the same questions that you may have as well. Okay. One thing I will say before we get into the Q&A is that if you have not yet joined this Facebook group and you watch the videos regularly, I would highly recommend going over there. Not only can you personally interact with me, ask me certain questions, but also like the community that we have created in this Facebook group is wonderful. I'm very, very happy about how this group has come and has been formed. One thing I'll say is that it's not like a regular Facebook group where you'll just kind of like, when you join a Facebook group, it's just constant spamming of posts of like all sorts of things. When you join, you'll see that most of the posts are just people asking questions, either me answering or somebody else answering them. I try my best to get to as many as possible. But yeah, it's completely free. It's a wonderful community. Definitely go join if you haven't already. I'll place the link down below in the description box and the first comment of this video, okay? But I have all the questions here right now on my computer. So let me just go one by one through them. So the first question is by Christine, and she has a question on, how to come to a realization that all is one consciousness. So Christine, I would actually say to completely let go of this goal, completely let go of this chase. You need not know that all is one. You need only to find out, what is it that you call myself? What is it that in this moment you sense as me? Okay, because it is because you associate me to be the separate self that everything is other. Everything else is now coming after you have first created this distinction. So you yourself first identifying as this limited object in awareness, the body and these bundle of thoughts. From here on, now there are others, other objects, other people, other things. Okay, so let go of completely, all these things that you're made out to believe what the spiritual process is. And it becomes exotic and all these ideas just in our mind. And we start to chase these ideas. The only thing that the spiritual process is there for is to find or discover, uncover your own source. What is this that you sense as me here and now? What is it that is aware in this moment here and now? What is it that is alive? Okay? What is it from where I know? Experience is always changing, but this knowing is that on which this experience, this changing experience relies. The contents of the moment, which are constantly changing, depend on this knowing, on this awareness for their existence. So what is it that is aware? Once you start to rest in this knowing, once you start to go deeper in this inquiry, all the other things like oneness and all that other stuff that you are made out to, all the flashy spiritual stuff, that itself starts to come into understanding more and more. But that will never come into understanding by actually seeking it through mind. So no, you need only find out one thing. Who am I? And the rest will follow. So next question is by Preeti. And Preeti asked, I want to know whether one should be concerned about conscious manifestation or allow things to unfold on its own. So that's a very good question. And everybody's going to be at a different stage of their process, a different stage of their journey, you can say. And journey is all relative, from an ultimate viewpoint. You are what you are already. But now from the personal viewpoint, I would honestly just bring this question back to you and ask you what resonates with you right now. Does it resonate with you deeply to just focus on intentful manifestation material and that sort of life you want to live? Or are you leaning more towards, you're resonating with surrender? You're resonating with, instead of, just constantly replacing your negative thoughts with positive thoughts, keeping the attention away from thoughts altogether. What are you resonating with more? That will show you what you need to practice right now. And if you're in the middle of both, then continue to be in the middle of both, but stay alert. Over time, it will become clear what you truly resonate with and ultimately what makes you happier. Once you recognize what makes you happier, that is the only path to go towards. If we continue to do what makes us unhappy, it is stupidity, And trust me, I had to build my own balance with this. I can definitely, even if you look back in this channel, when I was doing mainly manifestation content and everything, and I started to really go deeper into the non-dual teaching, sure, there's a lingering between the two, which teaching to follow. So let that phase also exist. There's nothing wrong with that. The last thing you should do on this path is judge what we are going through. Just recognize that this process has so many phases. Let each phase unfold. And even when there is a lack of clarity, if you just stay calm and just continue to just put in the inputs, do the meditations, do whatever is resonating with you, and you just allow the process to unfold, this phase will also pass, and clarity is born out of just allowing life to unfold and take its own course. So if you're really resonating with conscious manifestation teachings, do that. If you are really resonating with self-inquiry and surrender, then practice that. And then lastly, trust your life. Okay? Life will always be unfolding in a way where, it will require you to take a leap of faith, take a leap of faith, take a leap of faith. Trust your life, because each time you take a leap of faith, you will see that you will expand your view of reality, your view of yourself. You will expand your sense of self, deepen your sense of self. Okay, so always take a leap of faith on life, on yourself, and trust. Have faith, and soon faith is no longer needed. Next question is from Michael. Michael asked, "Hi Sunny, I'm finding with more of my focus on self-inquiry that I'm feeling more peaceful overall, which is good. But my sales results in my job have dropped quite considerably, equals less income, since less focus on visualization and juicing up my emotions. Can they be done together? Would Ramana Maharshi, be a good salesman in this day and age? Or is it more a case of choosing one path or the other?" Before we get into this question specifically, also use the last answer that I just gave Preeti for yourself, okay? But so you say, you're practicing the teaching and you're feeling more peaceful overall. You're feeling more at ease, happy. Until you start judging your sales performance. Until you start judging and interpreting your life situation, which itself is just a phase, which itself will pass. Why do you want to make more sales? Why do you want to make more money? It's because you want to be happy. It's because you want to be at peace with yourself and life. Right now, you believe that peace is a result of you making more money. Happiness is a result of you making more money or doing this or achieving that. That chase is actually what blocks peace. Because notice, even the months that you have done amazing and you have made a lot of sales, yeah, you get that hit of happiness, but ultimately you're just right back into the chase of now maintaining that or doing better. You see? Nothing wrong with making the sales and doing that work. But if you believe that your peace is coming or happiness is a product of you making more money or sales, then you will inherently cover up the natural peace from your very chase for peace. You see? So, again, always follow what is taking you to peace, what is helping you recognize the effortless, happy, peaceful, content nature of your own very self. As I just said in the last answer, right? If we continue to do what makes us unhappy, it is stupidity. Trust me, a cycle I was in for very long. Only recently I have really cleansed out so many areas of my life, so many, even like, chasing certain business successes, certain other activities, like things like, even also things like social media. I've cleansed so many things from my life just by noticing, okay, what is actually taking away, what is disturbing the peace, or what is bringing or requiring so much energy to maintain, and what is creating activity and restlessness in the mind, and just actually removing myself from that. And you have to kind of do that for yourself by over time reflecting and seeing, what is allowing you to just be as you are, happy, peaceful, content. What is it that you truly care for? And then cutting out all the other nonsense. Because whatever you don't care for is nonsense. It may be someone else's gold, but for you, it is nonsense. Okay? So here's the thing. If you are peaceful, if you are happy, then this path requires you to just abide in that peace, abide as that peace, and then allow the circumstances to unfold. You may see that, okay, sales one day or 1 month suck, but you may experience the total opposite the next month. The mind looks at this as, inconsistency, and this is a reason for anxiety because I don't know what's going to happen next month. But make that a reason for happiness for yourself. Make that a reason for excitement for yourself. You don't have to live like everybody else is living, chasing success and money and business and all this stuff, One type of life requires a lot of effort and maintenance and constantly reinventing an idea that you have of yourself so that you can feel good about yourself. But it still is like a ball of chase and exertion within which there's a cycle of pain and pleasure. The other path is ultimately much more simple, where we shed away all the nonsense. Not saying that, you don't work, you don't do this, you don't do that. You do everything. But no longer is it a means to an end to peace. Peace is actually where we begin. And from there, we allow life to unfold without judgment, without interpretation, without resistance. That is the only life truly worth living, because that is a life lived in truth, in harmony with all that is. But we may have to live the other life for a certain amount of time until we realize that we no longer have to live this life. You see? There's a quote by Eckhart Tolle. He said, suffering is necessary until you realize that suffering is not necessary. So just in this case as well. This life may be very, very necessary in order and continuing living this until one day you realize that it is no longer necessary. And that is when you honestly strip away all the nonsense. And Ramana would certainly not be a good salesman because he barely spoke. He used to say that his main teaching is in silence. It is silence. His verbal teachings and written ones were only for people who cannot interpret the silence or cannot be silent. So take this advice and really kind of reflect on it for yourself, your own life, your own journey, and see what makes you happy. See what brings you naturally at peace and allows you to just be as you are, not in ideas or concepts about who you are, but just be as you are. And then do all the activities of your life from that place. From this place, there's no room to constantly interpret and judge and dissect and manipulate. All that is mind. And I said we just threw out the nonsense. Mind is that. Most of psychological activity is that. The only little bit of mind we need, we use when we need it. But the psychological mind that constantly just ruminates and ruminates, past, future, nonsense. Okay. So Shruti asked, "Hi Sunny, after watching your self-inquiry teachings, I can feel resting in awareness as awareness, but somehow the thinker and the thoughts inevitably attain power over this and keeps the personhood alive. How does one always remain and abide in presence?" And then I see Lauren commented, "Hi Shruti, I asked Sunny the same question. The answer was, who is wanting or needing to remain and abide in presence?" So abiding and resting as awareness is not a one-time thing. It is not something that is easy either, right? Especially in the beginning, because it doesn't, we say it's natural because it is, but it is not felt as so when we just kind of start this practice or even when we're practicing. So recognize that the thoughts and the sense of a thinker coming back into control and us falling into identification with it again and again, and the personhood, it is part of the journey. It is part of the process itself. That is the practice, to again and again recognize this and just come back to I am. Come back to being aware of being aware. Be as you are and allow the rest to unfold. That itself is the practice, again and again and again and again. So just carry this out and recognize that if you're falling into identification repeatedly, it's fine. Just as soon as you notice, just come back, recollect yourself, and be as you are. Carry this out. This itself is the practice. Let the personality unravel. In this practice, as simple as it is, there will be layers and layers of mind and body conditioning which will be peeled away from you, which will be just unraveling. And you are not going to be the doer of it. You are going to be undone. And all that will remain is you. All that will leave is the ideas you had about yourself. So this itself, make it your main thing. This is the only thing that truly matters. So even your other goals, like your physical goals and your life itself, is just the avenue through which this growth occurs, this unraveling occurs. So don't seek to, how does one always remain and abide in presence? You do it by doing it again and again, and just letting the process unfold. That itself is the practice. So D just said wandering mind. So I'm guessing you're struggling with a wandering mind. Wandering mind is not the problem. That is the nature of mind. It wanders. The nature of mind is incessant thought activity, restlessness. The problem is uncontrolled attention. The problem is not being aware, falling into identification with the wandering mind. So notice that all that is required of you is to train the attention. Again and again, bring the attention where you want it to be. Obviously, when you meditate, but also throughout the day. Okay? And that will take care of your wandering mind. It will still wander, but no longer will it be instilled with belief and identification. No longer will it make you and pull you into suffering. Okay, so for this, I would definitely recommend my 2 playlists down below in the description box, meditation and self-inquiry. Or you could even watch my free 1-hour masterclass in which I teach you, right? I take you through the stages and I teach you how to harness your attention. And I teach you how to go deeper in meditation and self-inquiry, okay? Ashutosh asked, it is said that what is I is the other person also. How can other person be me? There is no answer to the question, who am I? But when we ask, answers pop up. So you see, you look at the other person and say other, because first, your definition of me is this body. If I know myself as this body only, that's the extent of my knowledge of myself, then obviously from this viewpoint, Ashutosh will be other. My family even will be other. There'll be so many others. So don't seek to know the other person as yourself. No, the person is different from you. You are different from this person. But you, in essence, are the same as myself, in essence. So what has to change, what has to be seen clearly is what you are in essence. What you are prior to this body, what you are prior to these thoughts. From where you even know these thoughts. In order to know thoughts coming and going, you already have to be prior to them, established, placed here, so that you can actually observe these thoughts. So what is that? And you say, there's no answer to the question, who am I? But when we ask, answers pop up. Okay, so who knows that the answers pop up? Again, when the answer arises, is the answer that one? Or is that answer also observed by one that is sitting prior to it? So lose yourself in this seeing, you see. Just see that any answer that arises is just another thought that is also seen. By what is it seen? And turn your attention back towards that one. That one cannot be named. Any name that arises is also seen by that one. So don't stop there. Don't contract there. Again and again, bring the attention, keep it here. Keep the attention again and again, bring it back. And again, if you want to go deeper into this, either check out my self-inquiry playlist down below or watch the free 1-hour masterclass in which I go so in depth on the process of self-inquiry, okay? And it is free completely. So the next question is by Vio. Vio asked, how did you overcome your illness? What were the steps and what were you cured of? So I had a spine injury. I had herniated discs, multiple of them. It was a time where I had lost a lot of weight at once. I used to be very, very overweight. And at that time, my body, kind of got thrown off balance because it was a lot of weight really quick. And at that time, I suffered an injury which really, threw my whole body off balance. And I suffered that for many years. You can say that was itself the catalyst for awakening. But there's never really any one catalyst. There's never any one cause for anything. The universe is as it is. The universe is the cause for every single little thing. There are numerous causes, which the cause of is causeless. But that's a whole different story. But honestly, I got into touch more and more with my essence. I've seen that I was so far off into identification, into unconscious living. And a lot of that was creating so much of my suffering, not just physical, but also mental. And the more I came into alignment with what I am, the more I started to peel away these layers of mind, the more naturally the healing also came into my life. You know, it is an interesting journey because it is still going on. I'm still not fully healed. This is still like, I still invest a lot of money, time, resources into my actual physical healing process. But that physical healing process is not the main healing process. I understand at a deeper level now that the true healing that is occurring is the unraveling of the identity. And this itself is just part of this story. And so I'm still in that healing process. But once you start to just seek the healing, even from like a physical standpoint, and just start to do what is necessary, right? For me, it was like starting to do a certain exercise program, doing certain like massages, certain healing programs with Ayurveda, completely changing my diet, stopping eating meat, completely letting go of alcohol, anything that was harming me. Doing that started to bring me back into balance. Physical balance, emotional balance, mental balance. And that is the state through which you can actually now go deeper into inquiry. If you yourself are completely out of order and everything, then how can inquiry ever be possible? You know? You cannot go deeper when you are in a very tamasic or rajasic state. Tamasic is very, very sort of like contracted, lazy, inertia state. Rajasic is restless, full of activity, constant needing to achieve or do, manipulation, right? That is, you can say, the stronger ego. And the sattvic state is you can say the more pure aspect of mind, the more controlled, restful, easeful. That is the state which actually allows the deeper, you can say, meditation or inquiry. So if you want to heal, two of the things you could do best is get out of this sort of, reduce all this tamasic and rajasic elements from your life. And you can actually do your own research on this. I'm not my expertise is not in this, but do your own research and go for that. And then just allow your healing process to unfold, knowing that this is also an avenue through which you're doing the deeper healing, which is unraveling of the conditioning of the ego. So next question. Ashutosh asked another one. He said, I feel the I sense in my body. How to get excuse me. How to get rid of it. The self is everywhere. How to experience that. So this just goes right back to the first question that I answered. You don't know that the self is everywhere. That's just something you read in a book or heard in a video. That is not your experience. So don't say that. Okay? If you feel the sense of being here in the head, allow it to be there. Stop trying to get rid of it because you've heard in a scripture or somebody else say that the self is all. That's just a concept right now. Don't get lost in the concept and ignore the teacher's teaching, the teacher's pointing. You see how the mind keeps you in delusion? I'm sure the same teacher that said the self is all also told you to just focus on the sense of I am, to just be aware of being aware. But we don't follow that teaching. We don't practice that consistently with the same passion as we ask these sorts of questions and get lost in all that doesn't really matter. All that is not our experience. So here, on this path, steer away from all the flashy spiritual concepts and techniques and gimmicks and all this stuff. This is what I call spiritual entertainment. Throw it in the trash. It will not serve you. It is not ultimately what is important. If it is a part of your expression, this is something you're passionate about, by all means go towards it. But even then, know that ultimately, if you want to know yourself, you must keep this intention, pure. This is the main thing. on which your passion can also, you can do your passion and stuff. But to know yourself, you have to inquire your source. So let go of everything that is not your experience. Don't dwell in it. Don't even think about it. Don't try to make it happen. Stop trying to get rid of, oh my I sense and stuff. Focus on I am. That is all. Take the attention away from thoughts and bring it to the sense of being. The sense of I am aware. And just keep it there. It goes away to thoughts again, just bring it back. That is all. Nathan asked, I seem to feel stuck at the same level of consciousness during my meditation, with quite some thoughts not getting into deeper states of meditation. Then now you must inquire, what is the I that is stuck? What is aware of this stuckness? The reason you may be getting stuck right now is because you're doing object-focused meditation, where you're maybe focusing on the breath or certain object, like the music, and you're bringing the attention back there again and again. This will help because it will calm the mind down, right? But as soon as you open your eyes, the mind is back again. Or even in meditation, you maybe just get to a blackness or nothingness, and then that's what you think meditation is. But the true meditation, the purest of meditation, is to investigate the source. Investigate what is it that is aware of even the nothingness. What is aware, in your case, of even this sense of stuckness. And take your attention there. Your attention is dwelling in thoughts or the nothingness. Nothingness itself is an object of awareness. Inquire, what is it that is aware of even this? And bring attention there. Right? You'll notice that I'm aware of this. And what is this me? What is this sense of me being aware? Something is aware. Something is alive. Something knows. So keep your attention on that essence that is aware. If you turn your attention inward like this, then there's no question of deeper states of meditation. This itself will do. So practice this. And also, again, on how to practically implement this and everything, watch my free 1-hour masterclass. I went all out in that masterclass, honestly, for you. So really watch that and take full advantage of it by implementing everything, okay? Next. Gerson asked, sometimes I still do fall in my mind and I feel I can do better. Is this also a part of my journey? Absolutely. It's just repetition and consistency, again and again and again. And truly do your best. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself. And let go of all that is not you. Let go of all that disturbs your peace. Let go of all that contracts you, limits you. Let go of all definitions. Let go of all beliefs about the world, about yourself, and just become fully empty. Again and again and again and again and again. Gary or Jerry asked, any tips on TM meditation? TM meditation is like another object-focused meditation where you're focusing on a mantra. If that's working fine for you and you resonate with it, continue doing it. However, if you're ready to move on into the next step, then practice self-inquiry. Again, for that, either watch my self-inquiry playlist and follow the pointers or the 1-hour masterclass. Surya asked, how to transcend mind? To transcend mind is to recognize that you are not mind. And that can only happen through the direct path, self-inquiry. Okay? Obviously, there are other paths as well, but the one that we focus here is the self-inquiry path because it is the most direct. So again, practice self-inquiry consistently. And lastly, we have a question by Shabani. She said, getting over the fear that no work will ever get done in the physical world when I disconnect from mind. You know, this fear is very, very common, and I went through the same thing. Have the courage to test it out for yourself. No amount of me telling you that everything will be okay, no amount of some other teacher telling you that it'll be okay will suffice. You will eventually have to test it out for yourself if you have the courage. And what is courage? Just taking the attention away from your fearful thoughts and just doing it anyway because it's resonating with you. So if you have the courage, which you do, go on with it and see for yourself how activity still goes on, movements still take place, life still unfolds, goals still unfold, things still get done. But no longer are you carrying the burden as the doer of them. No longer are you attaching yourself to the fruits of your actions. No longer is your day full of past reminiscing and future anticipation and anxiety. Rather, you are here being fully with and enjoying even the mundane activity or the simple little things, people, and aspects of life. So don't get over your fear. Simply continue to practice and do until you see that that is just not the case. And every single time this thought occurs in your mind, just take the attention away from it. That is all that's necessary. Okay, so had a great time answering your questions. That's all that we're gonna get time for today. Again, if you have not joined this Facebook group, I greatly recommend it. The link is down below. Take advantage of these resources, guys. I do my best to really provide as much as I can. And yeah, so other questions, if you do have, you can post them in the Facebook group. I will do my best to get back to you. And let me know in the comment section below if this sort of video was very helpful for you. If it was, I'd love to know. All right. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video.